let Toronto know we're here, and we're going to shut down a few streets, so let's make some noise and take back our city.
We are the 99%! We are the 99%! We are the 99%!
We're here because, first of all, we have concerns about the world that our children are going to inherit, both in terms of the environment and also in terms of having a fair and just society.
There are a lot of us who have for many, many years felt that we're living in an unjust system, and that increasing gap between the rich and the poor, and injustice happening in many forms, racism, sexism, homophobia, etc. And certainly I think symbolically to be in a place like Bay Street, Wall Street, etc. goes to the core of the inequities.
I'm here because of this simplistic graph. We live in a finite world, and our economic paradigm leads us to believe that we can grow infinitely and not pay for our actions against other humans and our environment.
Shit is fucked up. The entire world is going to shit because people are fucking greedy, and it's not okay.
It's a way to get everyone talking. It's really more or less seeing 1,000 people in the street in the biggest financial sector in Canada. That's what it's all about. It brings the topics like this into our daily conversations, into our daily discussions. And hopefully through this we can come to some sort of consensus for a better world.
I think that this is a great way to start because it means that a wide diversity of people can participate and not feel that they're under any one particular banner. You know, a fair and just society economically and environmental sustainability are two really easy things for people to understand.
I see a convergence of a lot of messages. If anything, maybe the mantra corporate greed is one that's kind of been an umbrella.
Yes.
And I think it can cover a lot, so that it's not kind of a top-down process, which is saying, okay, this is our platform, but we need to develop it. And I think the process itself of developing, of having those conversations is one which helps to raise people's consciousness, which gives them a sense of being engaged.
What's problematic is the media is warping everything. CNN went to Occupy Wall Street, took over 3 hours of footage, and what got on to the television was about 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Apathy isn't sexy. Come join us down here.
We are the 99%! You are the 99%!
We are distracted every single day with media and bombardment of media, so we don't really see the erosion that's happening beneath us. Our humanitarian injustices, the environmental injustices, the polarization of income in our country is occurring, is happening. There is a wealthy 1%, there is a wealthy 2%. There are people out there making billions of dollars exploiting human beings like you and I.
There are tens of thousands of children that live in poverty in Toronto. That alone should bring this many people out to protest. It's not acceptable that there are people that are more than comfortable and people that just don't have enough.
Is it because we haven't had the same kind of economic collapse, or to the extent that you saw, because Wall Street was in fact the center of global capital, which we're totally connected to? Let's look at any other country, that's been actually exploited by Canadian mining interests, or, other kinds of free trade, neoliberal trade, that we can say relatively speaking. But that doesn't mean there's not injustice. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that, go to bed hungry. That doesn't mean that people don't have equal access even to education.
The thing is that, it's not as bad here as it is in America. Not yet. Give it a little bit of time.
Even though our banks do not get bailed out to the same extent as the United States banks, okay? But in this globalized world, our economies are inextricably linked, and our Americans are our fucking brothers, okay?
I kind of follow the zeitgeist movement, if you've ever heard of it. Stop the debt-based monetary system. We can base what we have on maybe human ingenuity or something else better than debt, fiat currency. We're the only species that pays to live on Earth, right? I like the resource-based economic model. Basically, if you need it, you get it, because that's the humanitarian thing to do. And it stops all this useless cyclical consumption. Basically, one company can make a cell phone to last 100 years, not a new cell phone every year that's redundant and going to break down. We can do it properly, build things to last, and perfect world, it's too far off to say that. The minute I say that, there's going to be another revolution against what I just said. Someone won't agree with me. It's about getting the system set up to accept change.
Paper was a good idea, but at the end of the day, it's destroying us all. We are the political system in my world. We are. All of us are. Not people sitting behind a desk, not people wearing three-piece suits, going to the highest penthouse floor, none of that stuff. No. All of us as one are political.
A fair, just, equal society to me looks like laws for corporations that require them to be environmentally sustainable, pay people a fair wage, and ensure that they support the communities in which they work.
And it's very much about an ongoing process, because I don't believe in kind of utopias. I believe that we're constantly creating the world we want to live in every day, in the way that we relate to each other, in the way that we develop our organizations, in the way that we engage in the political process.
A lot of people will ask me, what are you protesting? Here's my answer. What are we not protesting at this point?
Everything's up for grabs.
Everything is crooked. Everything is corrupt at this point. So nothing is sacred. And so at this point, what are we not protesting?
Where did the money go? Where did the money go?
Anytime you get this many people around the world doing the same thing, it's very hard to get an organized message. Yep. And you know what? Why do we need a statement? Can't actions be a statement? Okay. I think we're making a pretty big one here.
When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
Go, go, go.